Hey, what's up YouTube? Houston here. Now, if you are looking to raise business credit funding, okay, and you're trying to get at least $100,000 in funding, one of the things that I always tell you guys is try to start with the low-hanging fruit. All right, and what I mean by the low-hanging fruit, these are financial institutions that usually focus on like a FICO 9 credit score, okay? And also your low-hanging fruit, these are financial institutions, they kind of make it much easier for you to get business lines of credit, okay? And so some of these accounts that I'm going to tell you about definitely are your low-hanging fruit. You may need to garden in them, meaning you need to make a relationship with them by opening up a business checking account. Sometimes a personal checking account helps. But that being said, I'm going to tell you what would probably be my low-hanging fruit. Now, one of my low-hanging fruits, I would say, is Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo Business, all right? Now, Wells Fargo Business, okay? The reason that it's a low-hanging fruit, because everybody knows it's FICO 9 Experian, okay? So, this is the type of low-hanging fruit I'm talking about. But at the same time, Wells Fargo, they report the Small Business Financial Exchange, and that information is shared with Dun and Bradstreet and with Experian. Okay, so that information, they do not report to Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet gets their information from Small Business Financial Exchange, okay? So that we clarify that. But a thing I like about Wells Fargo that most people don't know, they make it very easy to get a business line of credit. Sometimes you can get a business line of credit and apply for a business credit card at the same time. Now, I mentioned about gardening. One of the things about it, like I tell people, you may have to open up at least two accounts in order for them to feel that comfortable enough with you to give you that business line of credit. So one of the things I always tell people is go for the credit card, garden it with them, making sure you have your weekly deposits. Again, this helps your business bank rating as well. And then after you get your business credit card, use it, pay it off, use it, pay it off, and stuff like that. Usually after that, give it about, I would say 6 months, okay? And then go for the business line of credit. Now, usually with the business line of credit, it's higher than the credit card limits, all right? So they may give you like a low credit card of $5,000. But 6 months later, they may hit you with a $25,000 line of credit. All right, so that's the reason that I would tell you this is a low-hanging fruit financial institution. You want to build a relationship with them. Like I said, they don't report to all the business credit bureaus, but one of the main ones they do report to is Small Business Financial Exchange. All right, so Wells Fargo would be your first one with low-hanging fruit. Now, you have U.S. Bank, okay? You have U.S. Bank with their Platinum Business. They have multiple, okay? Excuse me, with their Platinum Business, all right? Now, they are FICO 9. They are TransUnion, all right? Now, with U.S. Bank, sometimes they may pull your Experian, but it's still off of the FICO 9. Now, they report to Small Business Financial Exchange and DNB. All right. Now again, they operate similar to Wells Fargo. You get a business credit card with them. Once you get a business credit card with them, like I tell people, is use it for about 6 months. Also continue making regular deposits. That's very important. Also, I'm gonna tell you guys this, that you may not know. If you have these type of financial institutions close by, go inside the bank. Go inside the bank and sit down with the banker and let them put the information in to apply for a credit card or something like that. The reason you want them to do it, because their job is on the line. So they're going to try to do their best to try to help you get approved. And also, it doesn't question about validity of the information. So when you're online putting in the credit card information or whatever, then they may call you up, yeah, right? But if you're actually already in the bank and they're putting that information in the computer, then they can pick up that line. Say that they gave you like a $5,000 limit, and you say, hey, well, is it possible I can get a higher limit on the credit card or whatever? They're able to pick up the phone. They don't verify who you are. They already approved you. So the thing about it, it's up to them to try to encourage them to give you a higher limit. So that's one key point that most people, or one technique most people don't use and they're not aware of, because those bankers that work inside the bank, they may not understand the underwriting process of everything, but they still have that internal relationship because it's coming from their computer instead of your computer. All right, so that's very important to know. Now, that being said, like I said, U.S. Bank, after they give you a business credit card after 6 months, then they may break you off with a business line of credit. And like I said, with the business line of credit, it's usually as higher than the credit card. Now, the interesting thing about this with U.S. Bank, on their credit cards and stuff like that, they don't do no more hard pull. Once you're with them, okay, and with your business account and you're making your deposits and everything like that on time, once you're with them, they're reviewing your account anyway. So they're gonna give you a credit limit increase without you even asking. Okay, that's one of the reasons I like U.S. Bank, because they're going to give you that credit limit increase without you asking. All right, so that's another one. So I'm focusing on financial institutions that will give you that business line of credit and the credit cards, and their low-hanging fruit. All right, now here's one, but it doesn't offer a business line of credit, but they do offer high limits. Okay, that's the GM Business Credit Card. Okay, it's FICO 9, TransUnion, and it's Goldman Sachs. Okay, it's Goldman Sachs, but they will give you a decent limit. Like I said, if you're trying to get up to $100,000, and I would say if you're here 680 and up, okay, then this is where I would start. Okay, this is where I would start. There's some others that I'm gonna talk about in a minute, but here's another thing that you can do. Say that you have a LLC or a DBA or a C Corp or S Corporation, okay? Say that you have one of those businesses already structured and you have challenging credit. Well, what you can do, if you have a family member or a friend, somebody that you really trust with your business that's willing to be a part of your business, you can add them on to your articles and do an amendment with the Secretary of State, add them on, and then have them to apply for some business credit cards and lines of credit. So that way, if you have bad credit, at least you're still able to get funding to help your business grow. Okay? So that's the reason that I'm telling you this. Now, in reference to if you have challenging credit, one of the things that I continue to tell people is your CDFIs, okay? This is your Consumer Development Financial Institutes. Sorry guys, went blank. But your financial institutes, therefore, they're focused more on minority communities and stuff like that. Okay, so if you have challenging credit and stuff like that, but you have a business that's revenue based and stuff, and you have a business plan, a lot of lenders, they are flexible enough that they will work with you. All right, now one other lender that I would tell you guys that you may want to check out is DreamSpring. Okay, with DreamSpring. Now with DreamSpring, again, they're low-hanging fruit to give you a business loan. They're low-hanging fruit to give you a business loan. So if you have a active business, low credit score and stuff like that, but you're bringing in revenue, check with a DreamSpring. All right, they definitely will work with you. Now, the reason I'll tell you about Amex as well. Okay, and with Amex, okay, we know that you can do a soft pull with Amex. all right? You can do a soft pull with Amex. And the interesting thing about it with the soft pull with Amex, it gives you the pre-qual. So usually it's their Experian and TransUnion is what they're looking at, okay? And they do a FICO 8, okay? Now they also report to Small Business Financial Exchange, all right? But you actually can do a pre-qual with them, okay? Here's the easiest one with Amex, all right? And they will work with people with a 660 credit score sometimes. It may not give you the highest limit. And I'll tell you another thing about Amex that most people don't know. They're more focused on income driven, okay? So if you have a high income, but the credit score is kind of low or whatever, they may look at that and still give you approval, all right? But your low-hanging fruit to get the maximum amount of money would be financial institutions that offer business lines of credit, okay? That offers the credit cards as well as business lines of credit, all right? So this is Houston with three-way funding. If you have questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, or how to remove negative items off of the credit report, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.